Hi, my name is Ismail Ray Reyes, and today I want to talk to you for a little bit about how to live abundantly through real estate investing. So, a little bit about me. I won't go into the details here, but here's a property I acquired recently, a 59 unit in Tampa. I've got 236 doors thus far since I started investing in multifamily about 4 years ago, and I've actually been investing overall since 2005. I've done a lot of my investing as an active duty member of the U.S. Army. Here's a recent picture of me. I'm actually in the process of retiring, and also had the opportunity to participate in some forums and just discussing some of the multifamily activities and some of the processes that we have to go through to do those. So to dive into today's topic, I want to really talk about something that's kind of been bugging me for a while. And if you take a look here, this article kind of frames it nicely, and it'll kind of tee us up as we go forward with this discussion. But here's a discussion that, or at least an article that talks about high income millennials and the fear that they'll need to work forever. And so just an interesting, interesting thought there because these are younger peoples that theoretically earn higher income. So let's take a look a little bit more on that. So these are older higher income millennials, and they would rather have a job that pays well than one that is fulfilling to them, which is baffling. But I guess if you're operating out of a sense of fear, that's something that you will do. And a quarter of them are actually concerned that retirement will be forced upon them. So it's almost like a bad thing to retire. And, you would think that wanting to retire potentially and doing what you want to do, not necessarily retiring and not doing anything else, but retiring from a regular job and focusing on things that you enjoy would be a pleasurable experience. But here's something that, again, from this mindset, and we'll go more into mindsets later. So a key, and this is important here because they talk about a particular millennial. It's actually the millennials that are between 30 and 34 years of age, and they have a larger, I guess, amount of fear about their retiring and about their future. Why is that? Because these are the millennials that when they were in high school and graduating from college could not find work because we were in a recession. So their mind is already coming from with that sort of stigma or that thought process, and so that they're concerned much more than their peers, millennials that are 29 or less, or 35 to 38, which obviously were not as impacted by the recession as they were. What we need to do is change our mindset. We need to stop worrying about what we don't have and focus on what we have. So a mindset of scarcity is one that believes that everything is limited. Your time is limited. You're not going to have enough to retire. All these sort of negative thoughts about the future, and it makes it so hard to kind of get ahead and move forward and take action because it seems like no matter what you do, you're always in this sort of mentality. On the other hand, you have some folks, and what we want is have an abundant mindset, one that believes positively, one that believes there's plenty for everyone. It's not a slice of an orange, it's a lot of oranges. The idea is to think in a positive manner, which then allows you to take action and continue to take action without getting bogged down with these negative thoughts. So let's talk about your retirement mindset because this is kind of where this article and my thought process is here for this discussion is, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to save all of your money as much as you possibly can until your 60s? Or even worse, do you want to not save anything at all and just live for the moment? Both of those will probably get you in some trouble. So what I propose is that you increase your passive income until it surpasses your expenses. Because when you do that, when you invest with passive income, then you have money now, you have income now, and then you have income in the future, which is what we're striving for is you want to work because you enjoy it. You don't want to work for because you have to for as long as some people do. As in the millennials, they're even worried about having to retire, period, or having being retired. So this is what we're striving for. And you can live abundantly through real estate investing. And this gives you passive income. I don't want to dive too much into this because this is a much longer topic, but I would tell you that you can do both either single family or multifamily. There are pros and cons to each, but at the end of the day, I think if you do it right and you take some time to learn, what you come up with is some income that works even when you are not working, and that's I think the key here. And I said I'm going to pause here just for a second, but I think that this is a much longer discussion. And I obviously, if you have some questions, I'd be happy to go over this with you individually. I don't think this is anything earth shattering, but it is something to kind of keep in mind as you go along. And in my case, for example, I started on a single family side and I moved over to multifamily, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So how do you get there? Whether that's going through single family or multifamily or a little bit of both. Well, first thing you got to do is you have to decide, that you don't want to have this mentality of fear of not living because you want to hoard for the future, or well, I'm not even going to think about the future because it's too scary. I'm just going to live for the moment. We'll see what happens. So decide that you want to live abundantly, both now and later. And I think that's the key. And you have to decide, and you decide in writing, and you make it a point. This is a significant event for you if, in fact, you are making that conscious decision. And and you have to write it down because this is something you're going to be tracking as you go along. So once you decide, start educating yourself. You want to write down what your goals are going to be, and tell others, hey, this is what I want to do in 1 year. I want to have this much passive income. I want to be able to, to not have to do my job in 10 years by having passive income for the next 5 years that amounts to this much. Whatever that plan is, put it down, and educating yourself. I'll go back to educating because I don't think that, the key, if you're listening to this and you can understand where I'm coming from, what I'm saying, I think you have enough capacity to really be able to educate yourself to do this. This is not rocket science. It's more about, having a little bit of courage muscle to really take action, decide and take action. The other thing you want to do is obviously, you do want to seek mentorship because while this is not difficult, you certainly don't want to be learning hard lessons that others have learned before you. So, talk to you about, some of the things that you're doing and whether they're good, bad, and kind of and learn from them. And to seek mentorship, some mentorships are expensive. I'm not saying that you go out and you hire somebody for a lot of money. That may not be what you want to do. That you may not have a lot of money, but identify some people that are in the business that are doing what you want to do, and reach out to them. And the best way to do this, especially if you don't have any money, is offer them something, whether it's helping them, research certain areas where you're at. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So you're adding value to the mentor, and he or she will want to work with you. Uh, and then as part of writing it down, you also want to reflect. You want to reflect daily, weekly, monthly. You want to reassess quarterly and annual. You have a written plan. You need to reassess it, and you may have to make some changes. It may go faster, it may go slower. It depends on you and how much time you want to invest. And most importantly, and I think this is all kind of part of changing your mindset, is you have to celebrate when you have success. When you buy that first property and it's giving you a little bit of cash flow, or it's giving you a lot of cash flow, uh, and then you have to learn from the setbacks as well. Because I think if a setback is going to, if you're going to fall off the horse and never get back on, you really haven't, you're really not going to change your future. sometimes the people make mistakes. Hopefully, mentorships will guide you and will reduce some of the pain that may be involved with some of these things, because it could be, if you're not doing it right, or if you're not working with people that know this, could set you back a little bit. But even if you're set back a little bit, you're still moving forward in the long run. I think that's the key. I hope that this has been beneficial to you, or if not to you, maybe you can pass this on to somebody who you feel needs it. I'm going to post my contact information below. Please, please, please get a hold of me if you have any questions. I really want to help. I think at the end of this, what I hope happens is that I'm able to at least allow one person to make some changes that'll help them in the future. And by helping them, hopefully they can help someone else.